Yo, what's going on, everybody? Los here, come back at you with another video. And I got this stack of books right here from Command D Comic Shop in Dracut, Massachusetts. So, if you want to know what I got, you know what to do. Hop on that train and take a journey with me. Alright, so we're back. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that footage of this shop. And like I said, it was in Dracut, Massachusetts. The store was called Command D. And I'm going to start off by saying, so this was not the first time me going to this shop. And this is not the same day. So I'm home now and I'm doing this video, a little time from when I actually went, just because I wanted to gather my thoughts as to the experience when I was there. So the first time I went to this shop, I was with my kids and I didn't have a lot of time. So when I was there, I kind of, did some quick digging, found a couple books, as you can see from the pile. And so I was like, hey, you know what? The next time I actually have some time, I want to go back to this shop and actually do some real digging. So the next time I went, I was able to get the footage that time and, picked up some more books. Now, there was something that happened at the shop that, kind of, it was one of those things where it kind of got to me a little bit. I think this is something that maybe as collectors, we've all kind of gone through this. And, I'm going to leave that for the end. Hopefully you guys stick around for that little, I guess, rant, if you want to call it. I'm not trying to, completely shit on the shop because it was a good shop. They did have a lot of good books. The owner didn't seem there was something he did that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but it wasn't like he was trying to be a jerk about it. I could kind of see where he was coming from, but I'm gonna get to that after I show the book. So hopefully you guys stick around to just hear me out on that. I'm gonna leave all the information to the store down below. Again, if you're definitely in the neighborhood, if you're Dracut, Massachusetts, definitely go check it out. Like I said, it's a good shop. They had a lot of good books there. But just my experience. I just want to tell you my experience, right? So with that being said, let's show the books first, and then I will get into my experience. So, like I said, these I'm gonna start with the books that I was able to pick up when I was there with my kids, and then the books that I went the second time. So first time I was there, obviously doing quick digging, and found this nice section of Lobo books. So this is Lobo's first series, or first like solo series. He had a mini series, I believe, for a couple of issues, and then he actually got his solo series. So these later issues in this run are actually pretty low print count. This is issue 46, and this is kind of like the start of like those big up close and face covers. So this is one of them. No particular like first appearances or anything. That is just the cover. So I thought it was pretty cool. So snag that. And again, like I said, this is not the same day. So some of these books I've already cleaned and pressed. That's why you might see some sticker prices on some, and some might not. Next we have Lobo 56, and this is kind of like not controversial, but it is potentially like the first appearance of Crush, or there's either mention or there's a character that kind of resembles a Crush. So, and this is Lobo's daughter. So it definitely commands some decent money in the secondary market. It was a book that I've actually been looking for a little bit, and you find it in the package for $5. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna grab this. So I thought that was pretty cool. Next, we have issue 61, and like I said, these later issues, especially in the 60s, were extremely low print run. And this is Lobo 61. I believe like 60 and 61 are like the first appearance of like some kind of like reject Lobo Superman type character. So I thought it was pretty funny, so scoop this one up. Next we have issue number 62. Again, just another low print run, so happy to scoop that up. Next we have 63, which is a two-parter with Demon, and this is the second to last issue of this run. So whenever you can find those low print runs, you definitely scoop them up. And 64. So like I said, I got all the books in the 60s there, pretty much. So I was like, yeah, he had a nice little run of these, and I was gonna scoop them up all day. Next, I found this guy right here, and this is the Vision #1. This is from Vision solo series. It's not the Vision in like Scarlet Witch. It's the one where he has his like little robot family, and this is the hip hop cover. I thought it was pretty cool, and whenever I can, find some of these like hip hop covers on the cheap, I'm gonna scoop them up. And this one's actually pretty high grade. This was a tough one to get because of just the all black cover, so it's nice to find this. And next, I did a little digging in the, what is known as like the kitty section, because a lot of people kind of leave that behind. And found this guy right here. This is X Babies #2 of 4, and this is early Scotty Young. These books, especially like some of his earlier works, are starting to command pretty good money on the secondary market. So I was like, whenever I could find these, I scoop them up. And they also had issue #3 of 4, and this is a cool Wolverine cover. I believe this one and maybe one of the other ones is like one of the bigger books in here. But thought it was pretty cool to scoop these up. And these two books, along with the next books I'm going to show, and then this guy right here, again in the kitty section, was Batman, the Brave and the Bold #4. I believe this is like volume 2 or something like that. But this one, it leans more towards like the animated version of Batman. So I thought this was pretty cool. I don't believe there's anything significant with this other than it's a low print run, and for some reason this book actually commands pretty good money on the secondary market. So these three books were actually in that kitty section that I was saying. They had no prices on them, and when I brought them up to the front, he's like, we'll just do cover price on them. So I'm like, all right, cool. In my head, I'm like, okay, well, maybe the next time I go back, anything that doesn't have a label is probably going to be, cover price or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they also have this last book that I found the first time I was there is this one right here that I've been searching for these and to find it in the back issue bin. Is this guy right here, and it's Guardians of the Galaxy #5, and this is the Milo Manera. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Variant cover, and I believe it's a 1 in 25. And he's been known to do some more like risque covers. This is probably one of the more tamed ones, if you will. But when he's done some other, obscure titles and things like that are very, risque and stuff like that. And so when he was doing covers for Marvel and some for DC, there was some people that were kind of like a little, maybe not so much. I know there's like a Spider-Woman one that's very, controversial. But whenever I could find these on the cheap, I'm definitely gonna scoop them up. And had it for $20. I'm like, hell yeah. So definitely happy to find this one right in the back issue. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great day, right? I found some good books, and I wasn't even there for a while, right? Less than an hour or something like that. And I was like, hell yeah, this is a great day. So like I said, I was like, when I find some time, I'm gonna try to go back. So this next set of books is when I went back the second time. And I was probably there for maybe about 5-6 hours the second time I went. So I was there for quite a bit of time. I went through almost every single box there. And I found, again, some decent books. So I went back into that Lobo box because I saw the run. And I was like, hey, you know what? I kind of left some behind. So I grabbed 59, another low print run. And I grabbed 60. So I wanted to kind of complete that run at the end there. So I'm like 59 to 60. I'm like, yeah. So again, awesome books. I think they were all $4 or $5. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to scoop these up. And next one up, I found this one right here. And this is Sam Wilson, Captain America #1. Again, another awesome hip hop cover. And, some of these tougher to find hip hop covers, the heavy blacks that really get dinged up. When you can find them on the cheap, you definitely have to scoop them up. So thought this was pretty cool. Next, we have this guy right here, and that is Green Lantern #39. I believe this is the first full appearance of Larefleece. Again, when you can find like these, mid key issues for cheap, you pick them up, right? And you never know what's going to happen with like the Green Lantern series, with James Gunn taking over. Who knows what obscure characters he might grab. So like whenever you can find some first appearances, you scoop those up. Next we have Champions #19, and I believe this is like the first appearance of the character's name is Amka. I'm just gonna butcher. I'm just gonna put it somewhere here. You can read it. But they later become Snow Guardian or Snow Guard. So another first appearance, when you can find first appearances for cheap, you scoop them up, right? You never know what's going to happen with the MCU, some newer, younger characters that they might try to get to prolong the life of the MCU, right? A lot of these older characters, they kind of get long in the tooth, and you want to go a little younger, and you want characters that you can have for years to come. So when you can scoop up some of these younger characters, might as well, right? And speaking of younger characters, we have this one right here, and this is Totally Awesome Hulk #16, and this is the first full appearance, I guess, of the Protectors, and it's basically a team of Asian superheroes. I will list all the characters there, but I believe it's like Ms. Marvel, Silk, Shang-Chi. Just a bunch of characters in this, and thought thought it was pretty cool to find this in the back issue bin. So again, another team first appearance. You scoop it up. Next, another cover variant that I always scoop up whenever I could find it. I think this is like my third copy of it now. And that is this guy right here. It's Astonishing X-Men #2. And this is the Elizabeth Torque variant. Love this cover. Like I said, this is my third copy of it. It's just gorgeous. I love this cover. You have Mystique with all the different transformations she's done over the years with all the X-Men characters. So I thought it's just a fun cover, and I always scoop this up when I find it. Next, we have this X-Men #1, and this is like, you know, the Beatles homage to their album cover, but you have Deadpool there walking with the zombies, and this is an Arthur Sudan variant cover. He's known for doing more horror and like zombie covers. So again, this is just a cool cover that I just like to grab. So I thought it was pretty cool. Next, another book that I've been on the lookout for, and it is this guy right here, and this is Deadpool #13, and it's a variant cover by Artie Gronoff, and just a striking Scarlet Witch and Vision cover. Love this cover. I believe there's also a Virgin variant of this, but you know, I've been looking for this for a while, and it just, if you could find it on the cheap, you know, $8, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna scoop this up. This is an awesome cover. Love this cover. So glad to have that. Next was a book that got hot for a little bit. This character kind of spiked, and it is this guy right here. This is Incredible Hulk #6, and this is the first appearance of Ghost Rider 1944. And you know, I haven't read this title of Hulk, but you know, this character spiked a little bit. I'm not sure for what reason, but you know, still commands pretty good price in the secondary market, and I was able to find 2 copies. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna scoop up 2 copies of this. Why not? All right. And the last book I was able to pick up was this guy right here, and this is Punisher #10. It's a variant cover, and this is the first appearance of Frankencastle. So I believe like issue 8 and 9 of this series also have variant covers, and but it's like body parts, but it's not the head. And I'm not sure if this is just the first cover appearance of Frankencastle, or he's actually in in the actual issue. I know issue 11 also has him in it, and I don't know if there's some, you know, the controversy like, oh, the real first appearance is in 11 and not 10 or whatever. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure this is classified as the first appearance. But as you can see there's a price of $10 on it, right? And so that was the last book I was able to pick up, and again, thought it was pretty cool, right? So this is where I'm going to go through my little review rant of the store, if you will. So again, when I got there, I went in there with the full intent of being there for a while, digging through some books. And the whole time I was there, you know, I came in, you know, the guy asked me, hey, you looking for anything particular? No, I just like to go digging. I'm not really looking for anything specific, right? I just like to go digging. It's like, okay, you know, if I can help you with anything, let me know. I'm like, okay, thanks. So I go through, do my digging, and you know, find some books, and I'm there digging through, and I find some books, and like any other reasonable comic collector, you know, break out your phone or whatever and stuff like that, and you go through either the books that you need, you know, you go on eBay or whatever it is, and you look for prices, right? Because as a collector, you're trying to get the best deal for yourself, right? And if you can, you know, find a good deal, you're gonna scoop it up, right? Also, you know, if you have an idea what a book is, but you're not exactly sure, if it has any kind of significance to it, if it's a first appearance or whatever, right? You need something, right? Key collector or whatever it is, right? So you pull it up and you look up some information. Not everybody knows every single book. So of course, I was digging through, and every once in a while I'll find the book that I wasn't too sure of, so I'll kind of look it up. And as I went through the boxes, I would stop every once in a while and check. And there was one time where he kind of came over to me, kind of looked at the books that I picked up, and he's like, "Oh, you found anything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I found a couple books so far." And that was that, and it's like, okay, and kind of kept on doing my digging, found some more books, and he asked me again, "Hey, is there anything you're looking for?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm just digging." And so I keep continuing on, and there was one other time I kind of went and I had another nice little pile, and um, he went through and he said he saw a couple that didn't have prices on them. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to look these up because they have no prices on them." And I was like, "All right, that's fine. We've all heard that right before as collectors going into shops." So I'm like, "Oh, whatever." I'm like, "That's fine." It was like a couple books, right? So I do a little more digging. I find a couple more books, and I'm like, "All right, I'm done with my day." I go up to the front, and have a nice little pile. And so he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "I went through and I saw some of the books, and he's like, this pile over here, I don't really care, whatever the prices are, it's fine." He's like, "But these four books right here, I looked them up and they're a little more than what the prices are or whatever." Some of them were the ones that didn't have a price on them, and then one or two of them did have prices on them. So he's like, "Well, he's like, these four are, a little more expensive than all the rest of them." And he's like, "Of course you know that because you were looking at your phone." He's like, "I saw you looking at your phone and checking the prices or whatever, stuff like that." And in my head, I'm like, "Well, yeah, like I'm not gonna just go into a store and just buy anything just because you put a price on it, right? I mean, I'm gonna do my research, right? So why wouldn't I? All right, that's smart on my end as a collector, right?" So he asked me, "Is this for your personal collection? Are you reselling or whatever?" And to me, I'm like, well, it doesn't matter, right? It really shouldn't matter if I'm collecting it for myself or I'm collecting for somebody else or I'm reselling or whatever, right? It shouldn't matter. And he's like, "Well, just if you were a reseller, maybe I could work something out or whatever." I'm like, "Okay, fine." Again, it shouldn't matter, right? If you want to give somebody a deal, you give them a deal. But for business sense, I'm like, okay. So he pulls up those books, right? And the four books were this Punisher book right here. There was a Steve Rogers Captain America #1 hip hop cover, the first print, because I believe there's two prints. There was like a green shield and then a regular shield. There was an Indestructible Hulk 13 variant, which was the homage to King Size Annual #1, the Steranko. And then there was Nova #1 second print, and it was the Sam Alexander Nova. So those are the four books that he pulled aside and like, "Oh no, these are more expensive, whatever." And so he gave me the prices, and he's like, "Well, what we can do is I can do half on them, right? We'll split the difference, right?" And it's like, "Okay, if it's selling for this price, I'll give it to you for half or whatever." And at that point, like, I really didn't want to like argue or fight with him, or not fight, but like I just didn't want to like haggle. And I'm like, "You know what? I'm only gonna take the Punisher. If you do half on the Punisher, I'll take that one. The other three, I'm not gonna take these." Because it wasn't really that big of a deal, and I was already annoyed a little bit, and I still wanted the other books. So he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm getting ripped off and stuff like that. Because I saw you checking out the prices and everything and stuff, and people come in here all the time. They look for a deal and they want to resell it, and I understand that side of it as a business, right? As a seller, but at the same time, like I feel like as a collector or a reseller, I'm trying to get the best deal for myself as well, right? And I feel like it's not my job, it's not my place to tell you that your books are underpriced or whatever, right? Or they haven't been updated in a while. That's not my problem, right? If you price a book a certain price and you haven't gone through it in a while, you should honor that price, right? So as you can see, that Punisher book was $10. Well, he looked at it and said, "Oh, well, I don't know why this is in there. It hasn't been repriced since 2014." Okay, um, sure, but it's priced, right? So, in my eyes, I'm like, well, it was priced $10 damn near 11 years ago, and nobody bought it, right? So it was just sitting in your box, collecting dust. I was gonna buy it for $10, right? So you were planning on taking it out of the box after I found it, reprice it for more money, and then what? Not put it back in the box, not put it on your wall, right? So I technically did some work for you, right? Because the three books that I didn't take, he repriced them right there. Which, again, fine, right? And again, he tried to give me a deal, but at the same time, like I was already kind of annoyed with the situation, and it's one of those things, right? Like I can see his point of view, whatever, but at the same time, like I wasn't there stealing. I wasn't there selling books that were like $5 books, and I was trying to sell them for 100, right? Like I was there to buy some books, regardless of whatever. Um, so that kind of annoyed me, and it always annoys me when they're like, "Oh, I have to look up these prices," and I'm like, and I get it, right? I understand that sometimes it's tough to price out books, right? You have a lot of books, you get collections all the time, and it's hard to keep track of books, right? It's like the stock market; they go up and down, and to go through your collection, to go through all your inventory every 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, to reprice things, it takes time, and if you hire somebody, obviously that's cost right there. Um, but again, it's not my job. It's not my fault that if I find these books, right, and they're not priced out or whatever. Um, and I saw it like we all buy things as collectors or whatever on eBay, right, or wherever you buy stuff online. And we go scouring the internet and we go looking, digging, or hunting for things online. And you see all these books priced out, right? And it's like $20, $20, $25, whatever it is. And you happen to find one that's $8 or something like that, and it's high grade or whatever. You're like, oh wow, $8, right? It's cheaper than everywhere else. You immediately buy it, right? You're like, oh crap, I've been looking for a deal. Bomb, found one, got it. You don't reach out to the seller and be like, hey, this book is actually selling for $20, $25. Maybe you should relist it, and then I'll buy it for $20. No, right? So you buy it for the price because you're like, oh, I got a deal. Same thing here, right? Like I find it in the box for a deal. You had it for this price. I'm gonna buy it, right? I'm not gonna go up to you and be like, hey, you should really reprice this book. It's $100 book. Like, no, right? That's not my job. Like I'm trying to find a deal myself, right? Um, at the same time, like I'm buying the books, right? So like you're not actually making any money if it's sitting in the box, right? You only make money when you sell it. So, you know what I mean? So like it was just one of those things where like it rubbed me the wrong way. And again, the guy, it wasn't a bad guy, right? The owner wasn't a bad guy. We had a conversation afterwards. We started talking about like The Walking Dead and The Last of Us and stuff like that. And we had a decent conversation. It was just that aspect of it, the buying, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, right? So I'm not sure if I'll go back anytime soon. Maybe after a little while, I'll kind of go back. But that rubbed me the wrong way, right? And again, I'm not trying to shit on the store. They had a great store, great selection of books. It just that rubbed me the wrong way. So again, I don't know. It was just one of those things, right? As a collector, as a reseller, as a whatever, it shouldn't matter, right? You put the prices on it. You either honor the price, or you have to do your own work, right? Put in the work and reprice these books and do your research and be like, okay, these books are going for this, and keep your finger on the pulse and be like, oh, these books are spiking, or these this, and let me go through my collection, let me go through my inventory and see if I actually have it and reprice it. That's on you, not on me. The funny thing, he did offer me a job. Like seriously, he's like, hey, if you really want, you could come over here and help me out and reprice these books. Which if I had the time, if I didn't have a family and kids and like a job full time, like maybe I would. But it was just one of those things, right? I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way sometimes. Um, I like I said, I still got some good books out of it. Will I go back? Probably not for a while. But if you're in the area and you want to go check them out, definitely go check them out. They do have some good books. You might have a different experience than me. Right? That's all I can tell you, right? So that was it. That was my long ass spiel on that. Let me know, guys, what you think of the haul. Of all the books that I was able to pick up, what was your favorite? And let me know if you have any stories like this, right? And from your LCSs or anywhere you've gone to buy some books, if you had any kind of interaction like this. All right. And until next time, talk to you guys later. Peace.